Good morning, my fellow weirdos. Well, I woke up. I woke up in dread this morning. It's a takeoff on the Partridge Families. I woke up in love this morning. The big bend you over bill passed, I think it was like by 2 votes. And I believe every Republican voted for it. But oh man. Big beautiful bend you over without dinner bill. I want you to hear some about 7 minutes or so of arguing about just one thing. Somebody, some Republican, slipped into the bill. And they had to do this in the middle of the night. So I want you to listen.
Mr. Speaker, I can't believe the Republican argument is just trust us. At this point, I'd like to yield 4 minutes to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Frost.
Gentleman is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a moment I'm never going to forget, because tonight hundreds of Republican members of Congress are wanting to line up to vote for the biggest transfer of wealth from the working poor and the working class to billionaires and mega corporations that we've seen in this country's history. This is a deep moment of betrayal, a complete absence of loyalty to the people that we represent, and an abandonment of the values of hard work and dignified life. Mr. Speaker, I'm 28 years old. My generation already expects that we'll never be able to afford a home, to get out of debt, to retire, to live comfortably. And no, it's not because we've lived beyond our means, but it's because we've been denied the means to live. Donald Trump and congressional Republicans are making it worse, gutting Medicaid and food assistance to give tax cuts to billionaires and special interests. And
the thing that is most egregious, and we all agree on that, is if it was a noble cause to cut shit like this, if it was absolutely necessary, because even more needy were needing something, but it's not. It's for a totally fluff reason. People that already have more than enough to live on and do whatever they want with want more. So to give them tax cuts on the already lowest tax rates in the country, we're going to take away from programs that people like me on disability, or people with kids, people that are one-parent families need. Things like the housing vouchers, things like the SNAP program, things like so you're not eating a bunch of crap. And you know, it's always pissed me off. Poor people seem to be the more often that are like more overweight. And people will always seem to say, well, you seem to have enough to eat, you're fat enough. The thing is, when you're poor, when you're low income, you have to buy cheaper food. Cheaper food has more fillers and crap in it. Crap that screws with your system and encourages you to gain weight. Well, if you eat properly, well, maybe they can't eat properly because they don't get enough money to eat properly. Cheap food is fattening food. Usually. But you cynics and you criticizers and you insulter barons just attack the one, oh, you don't have self-control, or you eat bullshit food. You eat too much, you eat bad food. You're talking to low income. So let me see. Maybe they have to buy and eat the crap food because that's all they can afford. And then if they shop at a place that doesn't sell American food stuff, You have a pissy fit too. We'll make shit so we can afford to buy things made in our own country, and maybe we would then, huh? You ever think about that? No, you don't.
All of the things that you could give tax breaks for, this bill will cut taxes on silencers for guns. And for those who don't know,
So the shit they slip in.
for those who don't know, gun silencers can be attached to a gun to muffle the sound of a gunshot.
You can shoot somebody in the
And
apartment
I'm
next
going to
to you
wait till the House is in
nobody
order,
hears.
Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman's correct. The House is not in order. Gentleman may continue.
In mass shootings, these silencers make it harder to identify and respond to the source of the gunshots.
Yep.
Earlier, I put forth an amendment to strip this tax cut for the gun lobby, and House Republicans wouldn't even let it come up for a vote. And then, the Republicans made the bill worse in their manager's amendment by making silencers completely unregulated. In 2023 alone, the ATF recovered over 400 silencers from violent crime scenes. For this reason, silencers have been highly regulated for nearly 100 years. In May of 2019, the Virginia Beach shooter attached a silencer to his .45 caliber handgun that he used to kill 12 people on 3 floors of a city building.
But Republicans
Survivors
are
of the
fine
attack
with
said
that.
they weren't even aware a mass shooting was going on because of the silencer. My question is, why did this get added to the bill just a couple hours ago? Which congressional Republican just couldn't stand to vote for the horrible bill until it promised even more death to people? And I will yield to hear a name. Mr. Speaker. I'll yield just to hear a name.
The gentleman will state his point of order.
Mr. Speaker, this is supposed to be a challenge because the rule says that we've waived earmarks, but the gentleman is not talking about earmarks. He's talking about process that he doesn't like. He's talking about parts of the bill he doesn't like, but he has not mentioned any specific earmark. Even the gentleman who spoke before him, the gentleman from Massachusetts, only talked in general terms about things that were general policy, not earmarks. So I submit, Mr. Speaker,
Also be in order.
Mr. Speaker, that the gentleman is not in order in giving
The
remarks
gentleman
that are
from
not
Virginia has
pertinent.
not stated a point of order.
I'm sorry?
I reclaim my time. I will yield just to hear the name of the Republican that couldn't vote for this
Also be in
bill.
order. The gentleman from Virginia has not stated a point of order. The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Thank you. I am just curious on which Republican couldn't vote for the bill until we completely deregulated silencers. My generation isn't just defined by a bleak financial future. We're also defined as the mass shooting generation. We've done more active shooter drills than fire drills. We've grown up watching classes of our students die a brutal death, helpless inside classrooms, on our blocks, in our churches, again and again and again and again. And so, America, we got to be very clear and truthful about this budget. Laws for gun manufacturers to make more money off of the death of children and our people? Yes. Food for children to eat? No. Health care for seniors, disabled Americans, and millions more? No. Resources to help working families fight to ends meet? No. This is why they've been told to not host any town halls back in their districts. That's why this debate is happening in the middle of the night. It's nothing short of theft. And congressional Republicans are really helping me understand why half of this country doesn't vote. It's because they'll look people in the eyes and make promises only to come here in the middle of the night to advance a
And
bill that will
sneak
take
around
away the
behind the
benefits
people's
that they have
back.
earned. Republicans would have us believe that the person most likely to steal from you is a person in a hoodie, a black person in a hoodie, or an immigrant with tattoos, and this is to distract
Gentleman's
from
time
the
has
fact.
expired. The gentleman's recognized for an additional minute.
This is to distract from the fact
People
that at
giving
least here
them their
tonight,
time.
the people stealing from Americans are not folks with tattoos and hoodies. It's people wearing suits and ties and congressional pins sitting in this Capitol right now. Not in some random alley wrapped in darkness, but in the United States Congress, wrapped in the flag. It is disgusting, and we will never forget this. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman
I reserve.
from Massachusetts
I reserve.
reserves. Gentlelady from Indiana is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Griffith.
Gentleman from Virginia is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, as I said in the point of order, which I didn't have the rule at hand, but it's 17(1)B, but as I said then, if they want to complain about they didn't like the process, if they don't like the bill, if there's a piece of the bill they don't like, save that for the debate on the bill itself. But instead, they've raised a parliamentary procedure to claim that the rule is not proper, assuming or claiming that there are earmarks. But I would submit, Mr. Speaker, that they have not mentioned an earmark yet. I've been listening. I've been wondering where it was because I've read the bill and I've read the manager's amendment. And with the manager's amendment, I see no earmarks in the bill. And they haven't brought it up, and I submit it's because they can't. And the proper ruling would be to rule that there aren't any earmarks. I understand we might have to take a vote, but let's try to get our processes right, Mr. Speaker. I would submit to everybody we ought to get the process right, and I yield back.
Yields back.
You see what they do? One person will sneak something, just a couple lines, 1 line, 2 lines, into someplace and tuck it in there just before that bill goes to vote, goes to the floor. That's deceitful. That's lying. That's defrauding the bill because they're voting on the bill they read, not the bill that you fixed, that you doctored after it was gone over. And they were not notified that there were changes. You don't have to notify them where the changes are, but you notify them there have been changes. And then they try to scour and find what it is before, the time up. And I say Democrats do that shit. Why don't you start doing that? Does that mean I'm going to have to research now because it went through? But I think that's just the House. Still got to go through the Senate. But I favor all the stalling. The more stalling, the better. That's why I say don't give them 1 freaking millimeter. Not an inch, not a millimeter. Because they scheme and lie as soon as you turn your back to them. And they cannot be trusted. And I hate saying that, but when you do that shit at a disenfranchises not just people but so many, it's not legal, and it's not humane, and it's not moral, is what I'm literally fighting back to say. But it's immoral and it's illegal. Senate and House Democrats, I'm going to say it again for those in the back, those who were in the bathroom, or those who weren't paying attention when I've said it the other times. You don't give white supremacists and Nazis 1 freaking millimeter. Not one. Not 1 vote for anything or anyone Republicans want. If they want to F up America, You make them do it by themselves without your help. I am not happy. I mean, even Warren and people like Schiff have voted yes for shit. I say don't give them one effing inch. I'm not joking with you people. I respect Schiff. I respect Warren. I respect Booker. But you guys are giving them yes votes on things. How about no means no? You vote yes for anything, you're encouraging them. You're saying that, well, I'm on your side for some things. No. No. When you have racists and bigots and misogynists and Nazis and Ku Klux Klan type people, you give nothing. Not even a freaking Band-Aid. They caused their issues, and those issues for everybody else, they can live with them. Fight and get it on your own. Don't expect me to help you, give you a hand up so you can break into the upstairs window. I'm not fucking doing it, and I don't think any of you should either.